This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right. We're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
The story you're about to enjoy was inspired by Kennedy. Thank you so much for your amazing idea. Another rainy day, sighed Levi with his head in his hands as he sat at the kitchen table in his family's vacation house, pushing cereal around in his bowl with his spoon. Yep, another day of card games and coloring books, added Ivy as she played with a yo-yo in the living room. Now, rainy days can be fun, but 4 rainy days in a row when you're on vacation at the beach, it's just a little much. And for Levi and Ivy and their parents, they were quickly running out of things to do inside, and it was showing. How about we have a raindrop race on the glass doors that lead out to the deck? Suggested Levi and Ivy's mom. We already did that yesterday, answered Ivy. We could do an art project, suggested Levi and Ivy's dad. We finished up our last art project last night, replied Levi. I just wish Mom and Dad would find something cool for us to do, whispered Levi to Ivy, or ask us what we want to do. I know, I couldn't be any more bored with this vacation, Ivy whispered back. While Ivy and Levi couldn't see their parents when they were talking, their parents could hear every word they said, and it didn't make them feel good. At this point, they had done all the indoor tourist activities in town. They went to the little aquarium at the end of the pier, the candy shop, the seaside gift shop, and the library. Levi and Ivy's parents knew they were running out of things to do, but they were trying their best to think of more. However, Levi and Ivy were not being appreciative at all. It's tough to be a parent in a situation like this. You want your kids to be happy, but there's not much you can do because you can't control the weather. Let me just check and see if we missed any other things we can do in town, said Levi and Ivy's mom to their dad as she was looking on her phone. It's just that the reception isn't great here, and looking things up takes forever. I just wish the kids would make some suggestions, or at least understand how hard it is that we're trying to make this rainy beach vacation fun, said Levi and Ivy's dad, sounding a bit down. It's no fun for us either, you know? I'd love to be swimming or surfing or building a sandcastle in the sun right now. I know, I'm feeling bad too, answered Levi and Ivy's mom. They just seem so done with everything. Maybe we should just go home early. And just as she said that, she heard a bing on her phone. When she looked down, she saw a website that she had never seen before. The Ocean Story Sailors Museum, read Levi and Ivy's mom. It's a museum filled with only sailor stories. That could definitely be fun. I think so too. Just keep your fingers crossed that Levi and Ivy feel the same way, said Levi and Ivy's dad. That's when they walked into the living room and told their kids they were going to the Ocean Story Sailors Museum that morning. The idea was met with little enthusiasm, but it was something new, so Levi and Ivy slowly got up and went to get dressed. Once they had their rain boots, raincoats, and umbrellas, they all headed to the car. And since the seaside town that they were in was quite small, it didn't take long to get there. However, it was kind of an unusual place. It was nestled between 2 old storefronts in a part of town they hadn't seen before. All the way at the north end of the beach, the outside of the museum was weathered-looking from years of seaside storms, and the sign outside was faded from the sun. I can't believe we've never heard of this place before. I'm so excited we found it, said Levi and Ivy's mom, trying to be upbeat. Arr, mateys, I know we'll have a great time here, said Levi and Ivy's dad, trying to be funny. Get it? Because we're at a sailor's museum. Levi and Ivy didn't even crack a smile, but instead held their umbrellas over their heads and walked inside. The museum was only one room, but it was piled from floor to ceiling with hundreds of dusty, old-looking books. A man sitting in a rocking chair by the window got up slowly when they were all inside. Welcome to the Ocean Story Sailors Museum. I've been expecting you, said the man. The name's Conroy Tide. You've been expecting us? Asked Levi, sounding a bit surprised. how did he know we were coming to the museum today? Well, what I meant was, I figured it was just a matter of time before you'd stop by because of all the rain, said Conroy. Everyone's been looking for inside activities this whole week. Oh, okay, said Levi, looking around at all the books. Just what I wanted to do on my summer vacation at the beach. Read. Ivy sighed, looking around as their parents could tell they were not happy to be there. They felt bad for a moment, but then those feelings faded. They were instead a bit upset that their kids weren't even giving this place a chance, and after they had been trying so hard all week to make their rainy days fun, they just couldn't take it anymore. Conroy could see this and asked if Levi and Ivy's parents wanted to explore the museum for a bit because he had a sailor story to share with the kids. They agreed and walked away to take a few deep breaths and try to enjoy their time at the museum. Hey, kiddos, why don't you sit down with me for a minute while your parents look around, said Conroy. I have a story to share with you. It's about a first mate who thought the captain of the giant ship he was on had the easiest job in the world. The book is called The First Mate and the Captain. Conroy grabbed a large, old-looking book off the bookshelf next to him and opened it up. It was filled with amazing drawings of giant ships, fierce oceans, and amazing sea life. He went on to explain that the first mate thought the captain had it easy on the ship. He could do whatever he wanted, and the whole crew had to do everything he said. It sounds like kids and parents, giggled Ivy. Yeah, I feel like Mom and Dad can do whatever they want, and we just have to go along with it, said Levi. Now, I don't know about that, said Conroy, and I may have just the thing to help you realize that for yourself. Stay here while I get your parents. Conroy called over Levi and Ivy's parents to join him with the kids. He then told them all to put one hand on the book he was holding. As they each touched the book, the rain seemed to fall harder outside and lightning lit up the sky. Thunder could be heard rumbling in the distance, and the lights in the museum flickered on and off. Keep your hands on the book, Conroy insisted. The story in these pages is about one person who is misunderstood by another. The first mate thinks the captain has it easy, while the captain wishes some days that he could just be a first mate again. His job is tough and thankless sometimes, but he has to keep going for the good of the ship and his crew. Levi and Ivy and their parents didn't quite know where this story was going or why they had to keep their hands on this book. That is until Conroy said this. Levi and Ivy are like the first mate, and your parents are like the captain. The only way you're going to understand how the other one feels is by walking a mile in their shoes. Ugh, I guess we have to walk for a mile in the rain now, groaned Levi. The lights flickered on and off more intensely as a crash of lightning struck so close they thought it had hit the museum. Whoa, that was a close one, exclaimed Ivy, looking at Levi. On the count of 3, you will be given the opportunity to switch from first mate to captain and the other way around, said Conroy. Use your time wisely to see the world from another's point of view. 3, 2, 1. With those final words came one last loud rumble of thunder and a blinding lightning strike that made Levi and Ivy and their parents close their eyes. When they opened them up, Conroy was gone and the museum was quiet. Rain fell lightly outside now, while Levi and Ivy and their parents tried to make sense out of what just had happened. Sweetheart, are you okay? Said a voice that sounded familiar, but a bit out of place. I'm fine, Mom, but can we get out of here now? Said another voice sounding quite similar to the first. It was then that everyone realized what was going on, and it was nothing they could have ever imagined. Ivy had switched bodies with her mom, and Levi had switched bodies with his dad. Oh my goodness! Everyone exclaimed at the same time. Conroy tricked us, or put some magic spell on us, exclaimed Levi and Ivy's mom, sounding like Ivy. Or maybe he's put a pirate's curse on us, which could actually be really cool, said Levi and Ivy's dad, sounding like Levi. Don't be silly, you two, said Ivy, sounding like her mom. There has got to be a good common sense explanation for all of this. But as they each sat there in stunned silence, they quickly came to realize that they had been switched bodies and they didn't know how to get everything back to normal. Okay, everyone, just calm down, said Levi, sounding like his dad. We need to think back to what Conroy said, and I'm sure we can find some helpful clues there. How can you be so calm? Said Levi and Ivy's dad. We could be stuck like this forever. I'm the dad. I have to stay calm, even if I'm freaking out because a guy from a sailor museum made us switch bodies, said Levi. Well, I'm glad you guys are here because if it was just me, all alone, I'd be super scared, said Levi and Ivy's mom. Don't worry, sweetheart, we'll figure this out together, said Ivy, giving her mom a big hug and making her feel better. Maybe we just need to find Conroy, said Levi. Or maybe we can just read this note that Conroy left for us, giggled Ivy. I would have seen the note eventually, said Levi. The note read, Dear Levi, Ivy, and your parents, when you came into the museum today, I could tell that you needed a little help. Sometimes the only way to know how another person is feeling or what their life is really like is to walk a mile in their shoes, as the old saying goes. This is the start of your mile-long walk. Levi and Ivy, you have to experience life as your parents for the afternoon. Levi and Ivy's parents, you have to experience life as your kids for the afternoon. By the end of it all, I hope you realize that what the first mate realized in the book I was telling you about. See you soon, Conroy. What does the first mate realize? Asked Levi and Ivy's mom. Conroy never finished the book. Something tells me once we get to the end of the afternoon, we'll know how the story ends, said Ivy. And I think we should get started. There you go again, being so positive, said Levi and Ivy's mom. How do you do it all the time? I stay positive for the two of you, answered Ivy. There's no sense in sitting around and being sad or upset about something. That won't change a thing. The best we can do is try to figure out a solution. And as long as we do it together, I know we'll succeed. Levi and Ivy's dad rolled his eyes a bit at the unwavering positivity, but it did make him feel really good. Let's go, you two, and don't forget your, Levi started. We know, our raincoats and umbrellas, said Levi and Ivy's mom. Just give us a chance to show you we can do things for ourselves. Okay, I'm sorry, said Levi. What should we do first? Said Ivy. Then before Levi and Ivy's mom and dad had a chance to answer, Ivy suggested going to feed the ducks in the little pond near the beach. Even though it's raining, they still need to eat, said Ivy. And ducks love the rain anyway, so I'm sure they'll be out. Okay, said Levi and Ivy's mom and dad. And then as they walked toward their car, they started talking with each other. She didn't even give us a chance to say what we'd like to do, said Levi and Ivy's dad. I know. I tried to give a suggestion of something we could do just the other day, and before I could, Dad suggested going for a drive to the lighthouse. And that was it, said Levi and Ivy's mom. I mean, it was fun to go to the lighthouse, replied Levi and Ivy's dad. But it would be nice for us to be able to pick the activities we do every once in a while. Once they got in the car, no one really knew what to do next. Since Levi and his dad switched bodies, they didn't know who was supposed to drive the car. If anyone saw Levi driving, they would have thought something was seriously wrong. And while Levi's dad looked the part of the car-driving adult, Levi was the one that really should be driving. I don't know how to drive, exclaimed Levi's dad, sitting in the driver's seat of their car. I mean, unless this was a video game, then I'd be great at it. Okay, you're right, said Ivy. Let's just walk over and feed the ducks. It's not raining that hard now anyway. Levi and Ivy's dad looked at their mom and they both knew they wanted to say something, so they did. You know what? Levi and Ivy's mom began. Maybe we don't want to go feed the ducks right now. Well, we didn't hear you give any other suggestions, said Levi. That's because you didn't give us a chance, replied Levi and Ivy's mom. You guys usually pick fun stuff for us to do. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you don't ask us first, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Yes, feeding the ducks is fun, but right now I was thinking we could go and look for shells on the beach. Levi and Ivy looked at each other, realizing they were in the wrong. They didn't ask what everyone wanted to do, and they know that can be very frustrating. Okay, let's walk down to the beach and look for shells, said Ivy. Is that good with everyone? Levi and Ivy's mom and dad smiled. They loved that they got to make a suggestion, and that everyone gave it the okay before they did it. Now that we know everyone is happy with the activity, we'll all have a great time, said Levi and Ivy's mom. And they did. As they dodged raindrops, they found clamshells, sand dollars, and little crabs scuttling along over the sand. And because of the rain, the beach was empty, and having it all to themselves made the experience even better. I'm really happy we did this, said Levi. Thank you for suggesting it. Levi and Ivy's mom and dad looked at each other and smiled. How about some lunch? Asked Ivy. Where should we go? They all talked about it and decided to get hot dogs at the little stand by the pier and eat under the big canopy that was set up by the park. When they were ready, Levi put in the order. The person working at the hot dog stand was a little surprised that a child was ordering for his whole family, but he happily wrote down everything Levi said. Oh, sorry, buddy, we only have one veggie dog left, said the man taking Levi's order when he asked for 2 veggie dogs. One was for Ivy and the other was for Mom. That's okay, said Ivy. I'll just have some fries and eat a little something else when we get back home. But you wanted a veggie dog too, said Levi and Ivy's mom. I know, but if there's only one left, I'd rather you have it, said Ivy with a smile. I could never enjoy it knowing that you wanted it too. Levi and Ivy's mom looked at their dad and smiled. That was really nice of her, she said. I know, said Levi and Ivy's dad with a thoughtful look on his face. It was all starting to sink in. Conroy's plan was working. Each of them was starting to see exactly how it felt to be the other person, and as they ate their lunch, they talked more and more about how they felt about things. The afternoon rolled on and it started to rain a bit harder. After they each had a cone of ice cream, which Levi and Ivy's mom suggested, Ivy thought they should go back to the museum and look for Conroy. They all agreed that would be a great idea and hoped that Conroy was there when they arrived. Thankfully, he was. They could all see him sitting in the window in his rocking chair as they approached the museum. Once inside, they had a lot to say to him. Conroy, are you a magician? Or maybe a wizard? No, wait, are you a magical wizard pirate? Asked Levi and Ivy's dad. Not exactly, said Conroy. I've just been around a long time, and I know how to find solutions to different problems. And my favorite is to let the people involved know that there's always another side to things. All you have to do is open your eyes, your mind, and your heart to see it. We can't thank you enough, Conroy, said Levi. This has been a very eye-opening afternoon, and we all learned a lot about each other. From each other. We learned that our kids want to be asked their opinions more. We learned that they like giving suggestions and aren't just waiting for us to plan out their whole day, said Ivy. And they want a little freedom to do the right thing before we ask them to. They're great kids, and we know they'll do great things, said Levi. And we learned that parents don't have it as easy as we thought, said Levi and Ivy's dad. They never stop thinking of us and do everything they can, every minute of every day to make sure we're happy. And sometimes they have to give up their veggie dogs because there's only one left and you both asked for one, added Levi and Ivy's mom. Wow, that was a really specific last example, but I totally understand what you mean, said Conroy. You all understand now, and that's exactly what the first mate learned about the captain in the book I told you about. Conroy then went on to explain the captain's job, while really cool, was very hard. He constantly had to be thinking of his crew before himself and never had a chance to rest. And when he and the first mate switched bodies, the first mate found this out firsthand. And the captain learned that the first mate had lots of great ideas and was frustrated that he was never asked his opinions or to help out more. The first mate had big responsibilities too and looked for compliment and encouragement just like the captain. They learned from each other just like you did today, said Conroy. And now your experience is over. So if you could please put your hand back on the book, The First Mate and the Captain. Levi and Ivy and their parents took a second before doing so and just looked at each other, really seeing each other in a different light and respecting and appreciating each other so much in that moment. We're ready, they all said together once each one of them had a hand on the book Conroy was holding. Once again, the rain started falling harder outside, as it had before, and the lightning filled the sky. A rumble of thunder in the distance made it clear that something big was coming next. A flash of lightning caused the lights in the museum to go out completely, and after a second or two, everyone opened their eyes. One by one, they looked at each other and knew in an instant that everything was back to normal. They had a big family hug and thanked Conroy again for all his help. It was my pleasure to help, said Conroy. And if you ever need me again, you know where to find me. Levi and Ivy and their parents walked outside with their raincoats and umbrellas, which Levi and Ivy remembered to grab without being told, and noticed that it finally had stopped raining. A big rainbow spread across the sky overhead and stretched all the way from the museum back to their vacation house. Once they arrived back at their house, they got changed for the beach and went to enjoy the activities they had been waiting all week for. The next day was even nicer, and they decided after a long morning at the beach to see if Conroy wanted to join them for lunch. It would be a nice way to say thank you again for helping them out the other day. They hopped in their car and drove to the north side of the beach. And there, nestled between two old storefronts in the part of town they had never seen before until yesterday, was nothing at all. The only thing between the two stores was an empty lot and a plaque on a stand. Levi and Ivy and their parents ran over to the plaque to see what it said and hoped it would explain where the museum and Conroy had gone. Levi and Ivy's dad read the plaque. Levi and Ivy looked all around to see if they could spot Conroy anywhere. On the plaque it said, "On this spot a very long time ago stood a library dedicated to the stories of the sea. It was opened by one of the best first mates to ever sail the seven seas, Conroy Tides. Opened after his time sailing was through, he wished to pass down the tales of the sea to the new generations of sailors. He was respected by all who knew him as a problem solver, a kind soul, and a dedicated sailor. The library washed away in a giant 4-day storm that struck the island on August 19, 1925. Only one book was saved after the storm by Conroy and can be seen in the new library that was built in the center of town. It stands as a reminder of all the good Conroy did for others and his connection to the sea. The book is titled The First Mate and the Captain. Levi and Ivy and their parents stood there stunned by what they were reading. August 19th, 1925 was exactly 100 years yesterday, said Levi and Ivy's mom. And I think Conroy may have been the first mate from the story. So just yesterday, Conroy's library was right here, and so was he. And now both of them are gone and have been for 100 years? Asked Levi. Conroy was a ghost? Asked Ivy. I'm not scared by that thought, though. He was so nice, and he did so much for us in one afternoon. I'm just happy we got to meet him. Definitely, said Levi. Ghost or not, Conroy is awesome. Thanks, Conroy, wherever you are. Levi and Ivy's parents agreed completely and decided this was by far the best vacation they had ever been on. And without saying another word, they thanked Conroy again and got back into their car, taking with them the lessons of a wise sailor who knew the power of walking a mile in another person's shoes to see the world through their eyes. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.